The sound of a layer bird differentiates it from the smell of a broiler bird. Broilers will come in with the smell in the compound. Layers will come in with the sound. That is the sound. Wow, the sound. And this one is the smell. I would go for layers. In business, there's what we call a liability and there's what we call an asset. A liability is where you inject your money, a lot of the money injected at a short time, or always putting in money. But an asset, you put in money and it gives you money. Here we are in poultry farming. We differentiate between assets and liabilities. That is layers versus other birds, which are sort of liability. So stay on this video till the end because we shall give you all this together. We shall make it clear for you. It's my pleasure to welcome you back to the Taps Farm YouTube channel today. We shall take you through how we started our journey, what we started with, and what should you started with, what we didn't start with, what happened, why didn't we start with it? We are in poultry farming. Why didn't we start with layers? Why did we start with broilers? Why didn't we start with the local birds? Or any other broilers, what? Why didn't we start with them? If you have been watching us, please thank you. I thank you so much. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe, like our videos, share to other people. Because want everyone to know that you can start small and reach where you want. That's why I'm here. That's why Kataps is here. To encourage those who have lost hope, to comfort those who are moving, and to encourage those who are starting. Just the other day, somebody posed a question to me and asked, Kataps, if you were to go back to 2014, 2015, when you were starting to do farming, when you were thinking about poultry farming, what birds would you go for? Of course, such a question is a broad question. What birds would you go for? Especially if you have no experience, you have no clue about poultry, you're just a beginner, you have no money, what would you go for? I was very frank to him. I said, my dear, I started with the broilers simply because I didn't know what I was doing. People have the intent, people perceive it that broilers require this capital to start. There are many other factors to require to have broilers as a beginner. But today, we are saying, starting with layers is what we call commercial poultry farming. No matter to what scale, whether small scale or big scale, a layer bird is a commercial bird. A broiler is just there. A local bird is just there. I only believe in a layer bird as a commercial bird. Why? First of all, layers, at some point, they require simple protein in the food, then also calcium, but broilers require you to give them intense protein for the first 1 week to 6 weeks where they go away. I couldn't manage that. If you have no capital, go for layers, because layers, you raise them at your pace. And the cost of feed for layers is always cheaper than the broilers or any other birds. You can imagine forcing a local bird or indigenous bird to grow because you want it to grow at the rate of these other birds. So give them a lot of protein. Yet the layer bird is naturally known to grow at its pace with very average protein. Layer birds require less time or less care. You can imagine when I started 2016, I used to go to work when I was a porter on the sites. I used to go to work in the morning after putting in water and feed. I would go by 6, I leave. I come back at 6 again. But they would be okay. A broiler bird, I'm telling you, my friend, they eat as if it is an engine. The bird eats feed as it is passing feed behind. Can you imagine? It is eating as it is pooing. That's a broiler. Too much feed required for broilers. So I can't advise anyone to go for broilers if you're starting up. At one time, I almost liked food for myself. But I couldn't stop feeding the birds. Those were broilers. My dear, if you don't feed them, they can't wait. When people come to buy, the buyers come, they tell you these birds are not able to go. They give you less cost. But the layer bird, you can give it greens and you spend the day. You wait for tomorrow. A, a local bird, if you don't feed it, to remain there 12 months, not even laying. You can imagine. And I want you to be serious. When you're starting and you start with a local bird, you must never be serious forever. These local birds, or indigenous birds, want you need to start with something that is serious, then you move on with it. But starting with a local bird, maybe if you've grown up in a town, maybe grew up in a village where I saw people doing local birds at the free range, nothing added. I couldn't do that. I would be still there in that category because I went in two layers. I cannot do local birds at my ease. But that's why I'm saying you need to start with layers, my dear. They put you in tension, you learn. You start. Let us not joke around. If it is commercial, it is commercial. Move. Set off. A layer bird is an asset. It's an asset. You can imagine at the age of 18, you have your 50 birds, 50 layers, and they're giving you about 38, 40 eggs per day. You can imagine. Today, in today's economy, you could sell a tray at maybe 12,000. That means each egg is about 400 shillings, 500 shillings in Ugandan currency. You remember I said US dollar, $1 is 3,700 Ugandan shillings. So each egg is about 500 shillings Ugandan. And that is good. At that age, you're earning 10,000 per day. At 18 years, maybe at 16. By the time you reach where you keep increasing your farm. So for my belief, a layer is an asset. I don't believe in liabilities. The intense work I put in other birds is too much. I can't work with them. I would encourage you that if you're to do poultry and go for layers, they give you that experience. Because you will live with the birds for the first 6 months, no egg. You have to be very careful. Naturally, people know. In our minds, we know that a layer is an asset. So you don't mess up with it. It's expensive to bring, so you have to care for it as special as it is. It's actually a precious bird. I love it. So if you get the layer bird and you raise it for the 6 months, you have the experience of vaccination, all the diseases for poultry. You've gone through all the stages, brooding, pre-layer, grower, layer, all those stages I've gone through. But for other birds, these local birds, no brooding, no what, they're just there. Like you can do brooding, but there's less seriousness. That's why I'm saying we are going commercial. How do you start with something that is not commercial, that is less commercial, that is an average commercial? No, start straight. If you want to do poultry farming, start with the layer bird. Learn poultry, learn about it, understand it, all the processes. Then you'll be there. Telling me taps, I will always be with you. If I've ever seen any domestic bird that is as proud as the layer bird, I've never seen one. These are the birds that have the highest pride. And why I call them proud? You know, a bird at 3 weeks is jumping up already in the skies. This when you put the patches in the house, on the shelter, they jump up. After eating, it will always jump up. That means they save space for the housing. A broiler will eat and be there. They smell, they watch, but these birds, they jump up. As they pull, the thing goes down, but dries because they are not there. There are many. So these birds, they save you the housing. People believe that the broilers go in a smaller space, but that's not true. Keep your broilers for 2 months and see. Keep broilers for 2 months and see how the home will smell. These birds don't fly, don't move, they're just there. I don't like a smelling compound. A farm should be a clean place. Because we have made farming as a business. We made farming as jobs. Why should we make it as a problem? For my love layers, the steady income, less smell. Less time required, less feed. Easy to begin with. Yes, I would go for layers than any other type of bird. The experience I get from layers will make me a forever farmer. That's why I encourage you to start with the layers if you're to go commercial with time. Let's not gamble. Start small. At Katap's Farm, wish you good luck. Thank you for watching. Till we meet again in the next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.